Welcome back to the Cordials Tribe. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about social media. So when it comes to masculinity, when it comes to the family and the things that I've been talking about on this channel, I think that social media plays a huge role in what is going on as far as the family goes and the demonization of masculinity and of men in general. So first I want to touch on the algorithm, and the algorithm changes between TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It can vary between which one you're on, right? Which social media platform you're on. And the same with X goes as well. X is kind of a mess right now because they're really not sure what they're doing. They say it's free speech, but then the next thing you know, you're getting booted off because of something that you said. So is it really free speech? I don't know. But what I will say is that any platform that you go on, you will see the demonization of men, and it's let go, and it's free to be able to talk and say anything you want to about men. There are movements on things like TikTok, Instagram, and even Facebook where it is all about how men are creepy, disgusting. There for a while there was gym talks where they would take a video of being in the gym. A man is doing his own thing, minding his business in the gym, doing deadlifts or whatever, and the next thing you know, she is saying that he's being creepy. She's recording him, she posts it and gets millions of views, and then underneath in the comment section you see nothing but nasty comments about this man in the gym who literally glanced at her for less than 10 seconds. So all across social media this is allowed. There's nothing that says that they're not allowed to do this. If you report it, nothing happens. Women are allowed to say whatever they want about men, more specifically about white men. You can argue with me. Well, you can argue with me in the comments about that, but you can see it all across social media platforms. Now, does that mean it's not happening to other people? No, I'm just saying that the majority of the ones it's happening to are tend to be white men. So I would like to say that these platforms are responsible for not handling these situations correctly. I want to bring up one story where there was a woman from Australia. I don't have the story in front of me, so I apologize if maybe the details aren't correct. But this lady in Australia posted something talking about how she loves to take care of her husband. She loves to make him lunches. She's a stay-at-home mom. I think they had 3 or 4 kids in Australia. And she stays home to take care of the children and do motherly duties, right? And on the internet, on social media, I'm not sure what platform she was on. I want to say it was Instagram. She was just getting ripped apart. I mean, they were ripping her apart from limb to limb, telling her how it's disgusting and to blink twice if you feel like you're a slave, or did you get kidnapped? Is everything okay? Do you need us to call the police? I think it's very sad and it's worrying that if a man is to correct a woman on these social media platforms and say something like, hey, I don't really think that you should talk about men that way. I think that's inappropriate. Leaves a comment like that, or tries to correct what she's saying, or maybe she's saying that all men are R-words and all men are creepy and blah, 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 right? If a man goes under there and says, I disagree with you and I think it's disgusting that you're talking about men that way, he's more liable to get his comment removed. Now, going deeper than that, the reason why this is a big subject is because I talked in another one of my videos or another one of my episodes about predictive programming, and doing this algorithm in this way does exactly the same thing. And here's why. Let me explain. Because it's deeper than you think, right? Because when you're on social media, you write a comment that the algorithm doesn't like or that platform doesn't like, and they delete it, right? What ends up happening is that people who want to speak freely, who want to speak up for themselves, which most of the time it's men trying to speak up for themselves, unless you're a conservative, then you're going to run into the same problem too, whether you're a woman or a man. But right now we're talking about men specifically, right? You go on there, you think it's free speech, you try to say something, you try to correct somebody, and your comment gets removed. What happens is after so many times of that comment getting removed, after so many times of the algorithm picking you up, after so many times of being reported, when you try to correct somebody underneath in that comment section, eventually people start to give up. So now you've taken away free speech essentially and gotten the people who you are who are trying to make these comments, now they know that they can't make these comments anymore because they're just going to get removed. So why waste the time? So even though it's still technically free speech because you're typing it in there, when you get reported and it gets removed, you are essentially telling that person, hey, you can say what you want, but it's going to get removed. So why are you even wasting your time? It's the same thing as predictive programming. Eventually, if you continue to do the same act to somebody over and over and over again, they're going to learn that doing that act is just stupid. It's a waste of time. This is happening on YouTube. This is happening on Facebook. This is happening on Instagram, all of these different platforms, right? And so essentially what they're doing is they're using they're using basically like, you know, we're going to take away whatever you say every single time you say it because we don't like it. And then you're going to have to find a way to get around that by not including some of the keywords that are in the algorithm. So eventually you're just going to stop saying it. I've gotten to that point where I will see some comments and I'm just like, why even do it? And on YouTube now, it's getting so bad on YouTube that if you flick through the comments on YouTube, you'll notice that there's a black spot in between some comments on there. That is on purpose. That is because the algorithm does not like what you're saying and only makes certain comments visible to certain people. And this is still predictive programming. This is another way of controlling people's actions by using predictive programming or programming in general, making people think a certain way because the brain is going to pick up on that. And every time you go to write a comment now, you're going to say, why? I'm wasting my time. It's just going to get erased anyway. So essentially, they've taken the power away from men to be able to stick up for themselves and say anything that is worth a damn because nobody's gonna see it. So what's the point, right? While continuing to support what these feminists say on places like TikTok and Instagram, where they're saying nasty stuff about men and saying that all men are this and all men are that, and we can't even stick up for ourselves anymore. There's no support when it comes to men. It's only feminism. That is who is getting all the support. So this is extremely one-sided. Now, here's the next part of that, right? There are children who are probably 12 years old and up who are going onto Instagram. Mind you, I will say they should not be on Instagram, but they are. So these children, these young girls are on Instagram and they're seeing these comments that say that stuff. They're on YouTube and they see these comments that say that. They're not being banned from seeing these comments. So you've got young girls who haven't even like gone out into the world yet. They haven't had any interactions with boys too much. They haven't gotten to that point yet. And they're already reading these negative comments. And so it goes back to what I was talking about before. We are being hardwired to think a certain way about each other before we even get a chance to go out in public and intermingle with each other or speak to each other about who this person is. You don't know who these men are on the internet. These women will go and say things about these men on the internet that might not even be true, right? And then you go out and you have interactions with men in public, and now you've already got it set in your brain that, oh, well, this guy kind of looks like the guy that girl was talking about on the internet. Maybe he's creepy too. Do you see what I'm saying? There's so much of this on the internet and there's so many people watching it that it's hardwiring people to think the same way all across the board. It's like a hive mind thing, right? The more time you spend on Instagram, the more time you spend on Facebook and all these platforms, especially if you're a man, it starts to get to you. It starts to make you feel very negative about yourself and about men in general, right? That we're lazy, we're disgusting, there's something wrong with us. All of the things that you read on there start to make you think that way. It's another part of predictive programming. It's social media has become a poison. So it was to start something very good, right? For people to go on there and talk about things that they were interested in, pass information along. And now we've gotten to the point where it is actually part of the programming. It's making us think differently than we should be thinking, the natural way of thinking. So I wanted to bring that up just to talk about it because this is just another avenue of the attack that's happening on men. And if you have daughters that are going online to Instagram, Facebook, and things like that, please just watch what they're looking at because that has a huge impact on not only the way your son thinks, your teenage son, but also your daughter as well. Make sure that you talk to them and make sure you let them know that they are good people and that they're cared about, and that being a boy or being a man is not anything negative. And make sure that you tell your girls that they are sacred. They create life. So going online and seeing these nasty comments that these girls are putting, make sure that you get to your girls first and you have that talk with them and let them know to not listen to those negative comments, or just maybe take down their time to where they're barely on there anyways, because it's just poisonous to this at this point, you know. Encourage them to go out and meet new people and talk to people in person, and not to listen to what others say. One thing that I teach my kids is make sure that you think for yourself and don't let anybody else do the thinking for you. That means online, social media, YouTube, whatever. And I try to minimize their time on the internet. So I just wanted to talk about that. If you like what I'm talking about and you agree with what I'm saying, or you disagree with what I'm saying, write it down in the comments. And if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe as much as you can. I am seeing my views start to go up a little bit more. So the more that you hit the thumbs up and the more that you pass this around to other people, the more it puts me out into the algorithm. I appreciate you guys being here, and I'll see you on the next one.